This is the husk itself, right? This is the fiber.
And this is just the byproduct of coconuts that are being used anyway.
Right.
In New Jersey, beautiful beaches are part of the state's identity, drawing thousands of tourists every year. But here, in the small town of Neptune, the beloved shoreline is threatened by sea level rise and erosion.
With climate change, the storms have gotten worse, the impacts have gotten worse.
Tim Dillingham is the executive director of the American Littoral Society, the organization overseeing Neptune's beach restoration project, funded by FEMA. At the heart of the project is a wall of coconut husk, or core, spanning more than 2,000 feet along the riverbank, used to protect the beach from erosion. He calls it a living shoreline.
Why would you want to use something like that as opposed to something that would last a lot longer, like steel or, something stronger?
So coconut fibers are natural. And ultimately, after they've done their job of stabilizing the beach so that the grasses can grow, they'll disappear. They'll go into the environment. Our whole goal is to try to restore the natural processes where we can and not leave any footprints, so to speak, of the work.
This is what coastal flooding looked like along the shore just months ago, before the project was put in place. It was important for the community to find a solution that would preserve the shoreline's ecosystem instead of building the more traditional bulkhead. Arlene Sharapa is a longtime resident.
People around here are environmentally concerned, and I think that makes a big difference.
The environmentally conscious solution begins thousands of miles away in India, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka, some of the world's largest producers of coconuts. Instead of discarding it as waste, the husk is extracted, processed, and packaged before it's exported to the U.S. And even though it sounds like a costly operation, it was more affordable than the alternative.
This project cost us a little bit less than $1 million to do. If the town had ultimately decided to build a hard wall, it would have been more than $2 million to do that.
And all this work with coconut cores is not just happening here in New Jersey.
That's right, Dylan. We're here in Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, where this crew is working on this restoration project in a residential neighborhood. What they're doing is putting in those coconut core logs and this matting along the stream here to protect it from runoff and pollutants from getting into this water and eventually the Chesapeake Bay and our drinking water.
And Dylan, conservationists in New Jersey and Pennsylvania will be excited to see the success coconut fibers had here in Austin, Texas. Back in 2009, this part of Lake Austin was eroding and core logs were installed. More than 10 years later, erosion has slowed and plant life is thriving.
Now, the newly completed project in Neptune, New Jersey will be put to the test.
Do you think the next big storm that comes through, do residents feel safe?
Well, there's always a chance that there's going to be some flooding, but I think that the benefits of having a living shoreline far outweighs the possible effects of another storm. And time will tell.
Storms happen and hurricanes happen, and they're a way of life along the coastline. We think this will be resilient. If a storm comes in that's large enough to destroy it, we'll come back and rebuild it.
So I love these natural ways of protecting the coastline. Last year, we actually visited a community in eastern Long Island where they used oyster shell reefs to reinforce the shoreline. So it's called a natural shoreline, natural solutions to adapt to climate change. I want to also thank our affiliates, WGAL News 8 in Lancaster and KXAN in Austin, who helped us out with this story.
That was cool seeing that.
It was cool to see it implemented in other places. And along Lake Austin, that was 10 years ago. And you can kind of see how the natural vegetation grew into those logs, and then the logs will disintegrate, and then you're left with everything that is natural for that area.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, thanks for that story, Dylan. That was great.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.